Just then you heard Love is the Message by Alpha Mist, Yusuf Dayez, Rocco Palladino and Mansour Brown. An amazing jazz journey. If you're only just getting into jazz, it's an amazing place to start. 10 minutes, an absolute burner, a real journey. And we were on a journey last night, I tell you that much. And shout out Left Field Coffee for presenting that track. That's an amazing morning ritual. I need some healing. Some frequency healing.
Oh, you're taking us there already.
Yeah, man. I wanted to. My mum recently put a tuning fork to my head, and she was just like, "This will, this is, I don't know what frequency it was." She was like, "This will heal you.
This will decrystallize your pineal gland." Is what she's probably going for.
Man, she's fully, bless her, she's fully on the frequency tip.
Good on her. She's well ahead of her game, bro.
So then the other day she sent me a Instagram DM and it was like a video and it was just like, if you've got ADHD, listen to this and it'll calm you down. Yeah, and then I closed my eyes and I listened to it.
And did it work?
I don't know. I was still on my way to work.
Got distracted and I stopped listening.
Got distracted. I started watching a video of John Cena announcing.
Well, didn't you send me the video? There's like a sort of Asian looking guy, I'm pretty sure, and he's got the 2 tuning forks.
No.
So he's got one tuning fork, like tuning forks that you've had in science class, right? They're like a
two-pronged fork with a circle at the top of each prong.
Yes. Oh, I don't know.
No, maybe not. Maybe not.
But yeah, 2-prong fork. They were bronze. Anyway, different sizes. You bang one, right? And if you don't have the right corresponding fork, like they're different sizes, they make different noise. Literally, like you would understand this very well. A guitar.
Yep.
They don't have the same tune, sound, wavelength of sound, right? So therefore, they don't resonate. He bangs one. The corresponding one that's a bigger size, let's say he bangs the 300 hertz, the 400 hertz fork just sits there. Then he goes and gets the 400 hertz fork and bangs it, and attached to the other fork, they're both 400 hertz forks, they start resonating because the sound waves that travel through the medium between them sort of oscillate. So they both start resonating together, and attached to the non-banged fork, let's call it, is, I don't know, a little ball and a rock, like a little pendulum that starts getting hit, you know what I mean? So it kind of demonstrates how 2 things that aren't physically connected, or you wouldn't see them as physically connected even though they are through the air, can sort of interact together without being touched. But I think it's a good demonstration on how sound resonance works. And being all music listeners in the audience should totally understand how sound works, the wavelengths in which it works. But yeah, there's certainly ideas that obviously your mum explores.
She's locked in, man.
That, resonate well with you, right? So like the earth is vibrating and resonating right now. Everything has a sort of resonant frequency at which it sits at, right? So I think the idea is that if you play the correct frequency to something, it can either get a positive wave interference. You know what constructive interference is?
No, tell me.
So constructive interference, sound waves, and they construct, so then it turns into, they almost add up, right? And destructive interference is when the wavelengths are in the wrong pattern and they cancel each other out. And so you can get sort of, constructive or destructive interference depending on what frequency is being played. And obviously there's lots of, 512 hertz and all these, hippie type, listen to this healing frequency, and I don't actually know that much about it. But that's the idea about sound resonance and healing. And I think there's been some cool science on it.
Yeah.
Like there was a study done, it's in the Journal of Modern Physics in December 2020, and it's called Virus Destruction by Resonance.
Virus destruction by resonance.
Yeah.
Okay.
So under microscope, they look at these viruses and they try and find out the sort of different resonant frequencies, which is literally like a sound, right? So it sounds all crazy and scientific, but it's not. It's like playing a guitar at the right spot and you ding, and it's got a certain noise. That noise has a certain wavelength and it has a certain oscillation. And anyway, this bloke, about 100 years ago, his name, I'm pretty sure, was Royal R. Rife. He discovered it in about 1934, high-resolution microscopes, but they didn't really know how it worked because the underlying mechanism is not really understood. But yeah, like each different bacteria or nanobacteria has a different frequency at which it just terminates and explodes and becomes inactive.
But there would always, if that is correct, then there would also be a frequency in which it thrives in as well.
Yeah, I believe so. And so, or a number of frequencies in which it just doesn't matter, right?
Yep.
But there is a certain frequency, let's call it 128 hertz, and it causes the total destruction of the virus by the rupture of its coating. So it's got a cell wall, and so my skin effectively has a certain frequency, and if you put me in a room with that frequency long enough, it would dissolve. So therefore all my contents, if I were a cell, would just explode, right?
Yeah.
And so on the opposite end, you know, when you talk about manifestation and these other kind of concepts, it goes as far as what you're saying, what you say to people, what you say in the world, what comes out of your mouth is a frequency, is a vibration. And that then controls a little bit of how reality works and what manifests. So they're the sort of two ends of the crazy sound healing spectrum. And one of them's like, yes, you can heal your bodies and promote good cell growth through the right frequencies. One of them's you can destroy bad cell growth through having a terminal frequency. And then like it sort of ends in you can actually control reality or manifest things through the way you talk and the way you speak. And that's why negative language, can't, won't, stop, don't, can be bad, and positive, active affirmation language can be really good. And I don't know, that's very anecdotal for me at least, but that's kind of how I try to...
Well, it's the same concept.
Yeah, that's how I try and sort of live my life a little bit. And I think it's cool that your mum's onto that, man. I'm a big believer in sound healing.
My ADHD is completely cured, undiagnosed. There's a couple of pretty epic tracks in the 528 hertz frequency, also known as the love frequency or the miracle tone, is associated with positive transformation, stress reduction, and even DNA repair, though these claims are not universally accepted by the scientific community. Stress reduction, DNA repair, transformation and healing. Man, some Bob Marley, like a lot of Bob Marley, Pink Floyd, The Beatles, Hey Jude, Jimi Hendrix. There's a couple of amazing tracks I reckon we could see if we
so
get some healing.
Let me just get this straight. Within their music, they have promoted these certain frequencies that are meant to like promote healthy healing within the body.
I don't want to reduce their talents to chance, but or I don't want to be reductive, but I think it's most likely by chance that those songs are in 528 hertz. You're shaking your head.
I don't. I think that they're completely there on purpose. And what are you laughing at, Rob? Hey? It's true.
Mate, I reckon let's play some. It's a perfect opportunity to play some Bob Marley.
Oh, mate, let's go for it. Take us there, Matt.